Hey guys, Brooklyn here again. This book talk will be on this book here. Obviously, that's why I'm holding it. Haha. The Queen's Confidant by Karen Harper. Now, this book, as you can see, once again from the library, because let's face it, plonk a bookworm in a library, and I was doing something called the pull list, which means I pull items off our shelves to send to other libraries, and more often than not, I end up pulling half a dozen items off the shelf for me to take home as well and add to the never-ending TBR list. Anyway, this initially caught my eye for several reasons. Firstly, the title, because I generally will enjoy anything with the word Queen in the title. And the cover as well. I love that. You know, it's a period piece, a novel, historical fiction. I could tell that right away. And this here as well, saying if you love Philippa Gregory, one of my all-time favorite authors, you'll love Karen Harper. And also, the name Karen Harper is familiar to me, although this was my first book by her. I have one of her other books, Shakespeare's Mistress, and I'm looking forward to reading that at some point. And also the back. Essentially, we have, it's set in London, 1501, so the Tudor court of Henry VII and Elizabeth of York, who I find absolutely fascinating. Henry VII, I think is, I know more about Elizabeth than I do Henry, I feel. Though I do know a fair bit about Henry too, but I don't know, I feel like I'm more interested in Elizabeth of York. She's one of my all-time favourite historical ladies. But anyway, so this book covers various matters at Tudor Court. But anyway, this book I actually gave 3 out of 5 stars, and let me explain why. Okay, it was great in some parts, and it was actually told from 2 different perspectives. The perspective of Verena Westcott, who is initially a lowly candle maker who is employed by Elizabeth of York to make wax candle sort of effigies of Elizabeth of York and Henry Tudor's dead children. And that scratching noise in the background, by the way, is my cat, who is using my armchair as a scratching post. Now, anyway, let me just go back to this book. Elizabeth, Henry VII's queen, because Henry VII is dead, fears foul play, but who can she trust with her suspicions that their son has been murdered? Now, the son in question is Arthur Tudor, who, of course, did die of the sweating sickness. Now, this book, I felt like what I just said didn't actually happen till halfway through the book, which really irked me, because I felt like the first half of the book was setting the scene and that sort of thing, and then the last half was when this sort of happened, which I found initially the back blurb to be deceiving, because you know, I was reading and I'm like, okay, well, I'm waiting for this to happen, but at the same time it was building up like mystery, you know. I had an idea where it was going, so I was just wondering like how it would all come into play, you know. The writing was really good at some points. I really did enjoy the dual perspectives. It was told from the POV of Verena at first, the candle maker, and then I was definitely shocked and surprised, but happily so, to find that the author also tells the story from the POV of Elizabeth of York herself, which was amazing, and I feel like she was portrayed really perfectly, and that's how I would expect her to be, or would have been in real life rather. I've only read a few books told from the perspective of Elizabeth of York, and this was one of my favourites. Actually, come to think of it, I think I've only read 2, but I hope to read more anyway, because I just find Elizabeth of York so fascinating. I like how Karen Harper didn't sugarcoat Henry Tudor's marriage to Elizabeth of York, you know. She said that, you know, at first, okay, I, you know, was forced into marriage to him, but we did grow to love each other, and that is why Henry and Elizabeth are one of my all-time favourite couples in history. Verena's character, on the other hand, I loved her, but at the same time she annoyed me because I found she was really fickle, but at the same time she was really strong, so she did have redeeming qualities. Where I would fault this book, as I said with the writing, like, the mystery was great, but I felt like it could have been built up even more, you know? And I felt like it was atmospheric, but again, the author could have done so much better, like, you know, putting the reader in the book. And you know, because Verena doesn't like small spaces, normally I don't either, but so I was thinking, alright, when I read that Verena isn't like feeling trapped and everything during various scenes, you know, I would have expected myself to feel like that as well, because normally I resonate with characters' feelings when I'm reading, and I feel the same, but I didn't, unfortunately. And then the ending chapter with Elizabeth of York, I felt to be very rushed, but at the same time it was potent, but not enough, if that makes sense. Elizabeth of York, as history says, she dies in childbirth, so that sort of gives you a hint about how her narration ends in this. But again, I felt that to be very rushed, you know? Like, all of a sudden she was pregnant with the baby, and then next she was like, oh, okay, right. So I felt like the emotions were sort of lackluster at some point. But all in all, I will rate this, I rated rather, 3 out of 5 stars, because it was a solid, decent read. Could have been better, but it was still good, and I will read other books by this author. Has anyone read Karen Harper before? If so, drop your thoughts below, or just drop any general comments below. And thank you for watching, and until next time, happy reading, guys. See you.